Yeah, so testing, Chris Wilcox. 1, 2, 3, can you hear me? Is it very windy?
John Irving, Chief Executive, Liverpool, John Lennon Airport. Yeah, look, the airport has been in great health. Before COVID, we had 5-6 years of growth, both in passenger numbers and financially. We're a 5 million passenger airport and real prospects to grow. Before COVID, it's been an airport that's served the region very well. More airlines, more destinations. So we're in a really good place pre-COVID, and we had plans to continue that, and we still do. Once this is over and we can move on. Well, the airport's a huge player in the local economy, not just in terms of the jobs it has, both as a company but also as a supply chain. People on site that don't work for us but work for some of our partners. It's a huge employer. But it also connects people, both businesses and passengers who want to come and visit family and friends, come and visit Liverpool and the surrounding region, but also sending people abroad on holiday, but also business. So it's huge. It's vital that we have a strong, successful airport in a city the size and a region the size that we are. I mean, COVID's affected us hugely from a financial point of view. From a business point of view, it's been very tough. In terms of our prospects and our hope for the future, and we are reliant on things happening in our favour, on policies, on public health, etc. Our plans still remain the same. We're going to be one of the strongest regional airports when we can get out of this, and we believe in everything we did before, everything we wanted to do. We think we can do that again, and we know we can grow, and we know we can deliver on what we wanted to, but we have this, obviously like every other business, this issue of COVID and the lockdowns and quarantines to deal with now. Yeah, look, we've had to work differently, and some of these things aren't new, but we've had to look at how we operate, what we do, and we've always done things well here, so passenger experience is important. We move people through the airport quickly and efficiently. But again, while we've had downtime and while we've had to work differently, we've looked at how we still do those things. So we're going to implement new security lanes over the winter, which will make the process even faster than it was. It'll help us from a cost point of view, but it'll also help the passenger experience point of view. Longer term, we'll have new initiatives where you won't have to take things out of your hand luggage anymore, but that'll come in 3 or 4 years' time. We've looked at how we use the airport site. We've got a COVID testing site at the moment, but we've also had cinemas. We've got to be creative, we've got to come up with new ideas, new ways to work, and things that will set us up for the future. We've had new routes launch, even in coronavirus times. We've got new routes with one of our airlines. That's good to see. So we're set up to bounce back, we really are. Well, for 3 months we had no passengers. In the first quarter of this financial year, for us is April to June, we had, I say none, but it was close to zero. We were operational still because we still had some flights coming in with supplies, so we still had an operational cost base. The second quarter, which is normally our biggest time, obviously summer holidays and the summer, we'd normally do 500,000 passengers a month. We did 100,000 passengers in July. We did 130,000 in August. And that has been massively impacted by quarantine rules coming in overnight or over a weekend in Spain, Portugal, all of the markets that we serve. When we've had flights and when people could fly, people were flying. We're a safe environment, we've got social distancing, we've got loads of spaces that people will know to deal with this. But the loss in revenue's been catastrophic, and the winter is going to be tough for us as an industry. It's not just a Liverpool thing. Every airport in the UK is going to struggle through winter. The furlough scheme we've used, obviously we had to. It's the only thing we've been able to look at from a government point of view. And we've had to deal with being open. We've had expensive cost base because we're open for business, but we've got very little revenue. Our revenue's down and will be down over the year by about 80%. But our cost base is still, as it has to be, fairly high to operate. So it's been a very, very challenging time. And for us, 6 months ago when it started, we thought about prospects of recovery in winter. We knew it would be tough, but all of these changes and the constant lockdowns and quarantine, while right for public health, are stopping us trading as an airport in reality. Look, we have huge support from the local authorities, not just the council who are shareholders, but the city region have been a huge support throughout this, not just in terms of them wanting us to recover, but actually stepping in to help us financially on a debt process, which was phenomenal. I think for us, look, we're a local airport. Throughout this, I think people will start to think differently. We need to get services that people want, and that's our challenge, but we need people to use us. Use your local airport. We're safe, we're secure. Whenever this is over, people will be able to use the airport well. I do implore people to come and use us. If you've got a choice, choose us. It's important that we as a business sustain jobs in the city region, sustain businesses in the city region. So when you have a choice, choose Liverpool Airport and not another one. Look, I think it's well known the UK government have got a lot of challenges, and they have to make big policy decisions for public health, which is first and foremost the most important thing. For us as an industry, I think we were the first to feel the pain of it because we had lockdown and we had flights cancelled and people couldn't fly around. Then we've had some recovery and then quarantine again. For us, it's about having a solution that protects public health but allows people to choose to travel and reduce quarantine times from 14 days down, through a testing regime. And while that is a challenge, there is opportunities for us to do something different and to look at it and to think, right, while maintaining public health, is quarantine the best thing, or is testing actually not only better to highlight people with COVID, but also to make people not go outside and do things because they've been tested negative or positive. So while we have these blanket quarantines, that is a problem for us. We need more regional quarantines, we need more testing, and we need some financial support from the government for sure. I think when we've had flights to places that don't have quarantine, back in July, Spain was really recovering, and that's our biggest market in the summer. And then quarantine hit, and the passengers' demand fell off the cliff, obviously. So we know when there's things on sale, and there's people using the airport every day on the flights we have. There are less than normal, but also people have to make a choice. Do they want to travel? People will definitely have stayed at home because of quarantine. People have stayed at home because of financial pressures. So yeah, we have seen that, but what we have seen and we continue to see is when the routes are flying and you have no restrictions on them, people will go and travel. And as I said, we've had new routes launch in the winter, which is because there is demand to go to these places. So yeah, staycation has become a thing this summer because we've had to, whether or not because we've been locked down, you're not allowed to travel too far, or there's a risk to, taking another 2 weeks off work. That hasn't helped us as a business, but I understand it. But people have chosen to travel when they can, and that's important. Yeah, look, we're definitely open for business. We're down on our normal capacity, but we still have 60% of our normal capacity for the winter. Again, places with quarantine are harder, but we have loads of destinations for people to go on business. We know people need to travel. We know people want to travel for lots of reasons: business, leisure, visiting the family and friends. We are open for business. We've done so much in the terminal to make it safe, COVID secure. We have all the things you'd expect to see and have seen before. You can space yourself out in our terminal quite easily. There's no congestion, there's no issue. We are open for business and we need support and things to happen for quarantine, but there are flights here to use, and if you need them or you want them, please come and see them. Yeah, look, I think for our industry, it's hard to predict when recovery will happen. We need things to change, either a vaccine or testing or it to disappear to get back to any sort of normality. And we will recover over time, but I think it probably, for us, we might bounce back quicker because of the type of flights we have. But you're talking at least 2 years before you're back to where we were pre-COVID from a passenger point of view. I think for the global economy, to shut down the economy was the right thing to do potentially, and the furlough scheme was helpful for everyone, but that stops on the 1st of November, and the changes to the economy and business have not stopped yet. That support disappears. So from an economy point of view in the UK and city region and the globe, it's going to take a long time to recover for sure. Look, I think, as I said, we're open for business, and people need to fly and they want to fly, then they'll come here. We look for people to understand it. We're not doing loads of marketing because we can't. People hopefully do use the local airport. We won't be doing loads of stuff around the community like we normally do because we just haven't got the resource to do it at the moment. But we are an important part of the community, and the community is an important part of what we do. So we look forward to welcoming back people when we can, in the way that we used to, in the numbers that we used to, because we will recover. Yeah, look, we do a lot of social media stuff. Easy to contact us. We do have a customer service team still in place, email or phone. It might take slightly longer than normal, but we're here. The car park staff are in. We've got people on site, as you can see. So any issues, questions, concerns, please try and get in touch with us. Social media is probably the easiest way to do it these days and the quickest response. No problem. No, that's good. Good, yeah. We'll run out of voice otherwise.